Welcome back to this week's episode of the Corde Snell Show. Hey, I'm the guy. We back again. I think this is episode 13. Hell yeah, we here. We doing it. What's up, Jared?
Good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. How about you, Noah?
I'm good.
All right. I don't know why our little interaction is always weird and awkward to me. So we just started the pod, and we always do like a few little things that we talk about before we get started. But Jared, you brought some news up to me. Justin Bieber is in the news right now because no hashtag no Diddy. It keeps going. It keeps going. It's spiraling and stuff like that. You said it was a connection between Diddy, Usher, and Justin Bieber, but you said it's a video going viral right now or something with Justin Bieber that happened?
Yeah, so Justin Bieber is getting dragged through the media right now because with the whole thing with Diddy, obviously there's a lot of talk in Hollywood about basically people doing homosexual acts, either for favors to get further in your career or just because they're all closeted gay guys.
Yeah.
So the idea is Diddy might have sexually assaulted Usher, who might have also sexually assaulted Justin Bieber, or Diddy also sexually assaulted Justin Bieber. So, video showed up of him, Odell Beckham Jr., and Trey Songz in a club. Now, a lot of people think with the way that Justin Bieber shows up in the video, it looks like he was sucking Odell Beckham Jr.'s dick.
Wet lips.
He does have wet lips. I'll give him that.
I don't know what your lips look like after you suck dick. I'm not the person you go to in this situation. That's also very weird. And also, like, wouldn't you want to do that somewhere else and not in the middle of a club?
I agree.
Super awkward and super weird. Jared, what's your thoughts on if Justin Bieber was sucking dick?
I really don't think. I think he has sucked dick. I don't think he's sucking dick in that video. I think he just took a line of coke that was off screen. And sometimes when you take a line of coke, allegedly, you can look a little goofy.
Yeah. You said because he was like down or something like that, and then all of a sudden he kind of looks up at the camera like that, right?
Well, yeah, he's not even on screen at first. You just see Odell Beckham Jr. from the waist up.
Yeah.
And then you just see Justin come into frame like he just was leaning down.
So you didn't see like a blonde hair going like this at
No,
all?
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe he wasn't sucking dick. Maybe he was just doing blow. That's
what
probably,
I think. But I do think he has sucked dick.
Okay.
I do think he probably has sucked Diddy's dick, just not on camera that we have seen yet.
Why do you think he sucked Diddy's dick?
Because I think Diddy got everyone to suck his dick.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like okay, cool. That's not cool, but yeah. So did you guys know that Diddy or Usher lived with Diddy for like a year?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's super a camp. Weird. He called it Flavor Camp.
Yeah, and it was like he was 13 when he lived with him.
Right.
And I'm just like by himself. Like in my head, I was like, oh, that'd be cool because you would like dance moves, stuff like that. Then I'm like, wait, why would I living with this grown man house and stuff like that, especially and then also no music came out of this situation either, I don't think. So I'm like, why? So yeah, it is very awkward. And then Justin Bieber. I don't think Usher did something to Justin Bieber. That's just me. But I think Diddy probably like came between her and probably did something because Usher was probably like, hey, keep him because this is a guy, this is a guy that molested me allegedly. Like I don't know, perceptively, just like we did weird things and like I shouldn't have been there as a 13-year-old. And then he was like close with Justin. And so I'm like, you probably Usher wanted to keep him away from Diddy, but this is getting awkward. I don't know what to say.
I agree, though. No, I agree. I do think Usher seems like he was a victim.
Yeah.
And he, in many interviews, has kind of veiledly answered that, like, yeah, when I went to Flavor Camp, like, weird stuff happened. I saw some weird things.
Yeah.
And then when Justin was hanging out with him for Diddy for 48 hours, there's a couple clips that are surfing on the internet where he's just like, hey, for the next 48 hours, Justin Bieber's going to be living like the time of his life, and it just seems very creepy after all the other stuff that's coming out. So yeah, Usher seems like he's a nice guy. It seems like he was a victim and he did his best to protect Justin, but I don't think anybody gets out of Diddy's hands when Diddy wants you.
I want to add in, I have watched a lot of SVU, and a lot of times... wait.
No, coming with the research. Hell yeah. SVU.
A lot of the times victims end up also being predators.
No, that's all right. Yeah.
So that's why I think Usher might also have done some shit with with Justin.
Yeah.
But you never know. Like he could have just been like really fucked up.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. That's we gonna get off this alleged talk out real quick. We gonna stop. Now it's just like, but yeah, this is tragic, dude. This is tragic as hell.
Well, to tie it back, it's funny that Cat Williams called this out back on the Club Shay Shay interview.
Oh yeah, tie it back what
to Diddy. Mm-hmm. He said, sometimes you gotta say no because Diddy be wanting to party. And exactly what you're doing is what Shannon Sharp said. What are you talking about? He's all, hey man, I turned down $50 million because I had to protect my virgin hole. Everybody's gonna be coming out.
Sometimes you gotta say no. You gotta say no. Because what he said, didn't Cat Williams say how Harvey Weinstein offered to suck my dick and I told him no. And then I ended up in this spot, but then it was all these other light-skinned brothers in the same room. So what did you do to get here?
Exactly.
And I was just like, oh shit, that's crazy. So he was saying Diddy. I didn't pick up on that part.
The exact quote, because it's resurfacing now because of the Diddy thing. He's all, who you think turned down $50 million? He's all, I turned down $50 million 4 times in my life because you know why? I want to protect my integrity and my virgin hole because Diddy be wanting a party. And that's when Shannon like collapsed and he said, come on, cat. That's the funny part. Also, the funniest part, he was like, when he said he ran a 4.3, and he was like, put that on the line, boy. Yeah. And we really gonna see. And then Cat Williams stood up, all 5'3" of him to look Shannon Sharp in the face. I was like, was he trying to run up on Shannon Sharp in this moment? Because like Shannon just cool, chilling, like, and he was just hit with the wow. Like basically, like I felt like in Shannon's head that was him saying, "Wow, is this dude really trying to run up on me?" Because I'm a big dude, right? I always feel like most time other big dudes usually don't get into a fight most time because a lot of mass moving, right? And usually people like who are maybe a little shorter than us don't try to fight us. You know who always try to fight me though? 5'5" and under dudes. They always start having like that inferiority complex. Oh, you think because you big, I can't knock you down? They was like taller, bigger they are, the harder they fall. And I'm just like, but I could throw you across the room, dude. So like, how am I gonna fall? How am I gonna fall? Well, if I fall, you gonna be flying. You know, like, yeah, but like it's always hella stupid. And it's weird too, because I'm a big dude, but I'm a very teddy bear like person. Like I'm not trying to be out here fighting people. Also, as a big black dude, you can't be super mean out here, and you have to be like nicer because people. I find out often that I am very intimidating just walking up on people, and I never understood that. It wasn't until one time. I was in the barbershop. I had just got my beard trimmed. I left and then I came back kind of fast because I was like in a rush. So I just walked into the barbershop. I said hi to a few people and I just walked straight up to my barber. My barber was like, "Hey man, I was just joking with you, man. I don't take this serious." I was like, "What?" He was like, and then I reached back. He was like, "Hey man, we cool, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I forgot to pay you." And I pulled out $20. He was like, "Man, if you don't slow your ass down, right?" Because I was like, "What you mean?" He was like, "Bruh." He's like, we joking the whole time. You didn't say nothing. You got quiet. I was like, no, I was on my phone. I was thinking. He's like, then all of a sudden you leave, go to your car. You come back hellas fast. He was like, I was like, oh, you right. My bad. I was like, come on. I was like, I've known you since, I think I knew him since like 2008, 2009. I was like, we joke. You know I do comedy. I was like, also, we talk shit all the time, dude. I ain't never do it. He's like, but you got to think about it. We in Richmond. You black. You walking in hella fast. You got your jacket on. You didn't have your jacket on at first. He was like, man, I was like, damn, you're right. Like that was like a very funny exchange to happen in the moment. But yeah, so I gotta be nice all the time. So hell yeah. I will say little guys like me do have Wolverine syndrome though. We're like, we can take down big dudes.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you do? That's what you do?
I don't do that, but okay. I know people my size feel that way.
I guess I have Wolverine syndrome when I see a big girl. Like that's because all my homies be like, they was like, oh my God, she is huge. She was like, and I just get like, no, yeah, she is huge. But I bet you I could. Oh, this is something that big girls always do. If I go on a date with a big girl, or sometimes they don't even be that big, but you know, they're considered big themselves, right? Big girls always do, or thick chicks really do this to me. They be like, you can't pick me up. I'm like, girl, I'll pick your ass up and throw you, right? It's because I lift pretty heavy. My max bench right now, I think it's like 350. I can squat I haven't squatted in a while, but I can rep 410 10 times for 3 sets. That's just like my warm up, or like that's what I do, right? So then I'm like, if I probably really try, I could probably get up to 5. But at this point, I'm older now. I'm not really trying to do that. And the chick tells me, who weighs about probably between 200 and 250, says I can't lift her, and I'm just be like, girl, you trying to piss me off right now? I feel like Liam Neeson. I have a very set of skills, and when I apply that, I do a lot of lifting. Like, it is so crazy to me when a chick says that. Like, because I immediately think sex. Like, girl, like, I will fucking lift you up and fuck the dog shit out of you. All right, but it's just hell yeah. Like, because I went on like a date, like I think it was like about a few months ago, and a chick was telling me that she was like, I bet you can't lift me. And I was like, okay, we was cool, and we was having a good time and stuff like that. And then like, I remember she stopped, I stopped, and I was just standing there. She's like, what, Corde? Like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm just waiting for you to stop talking so I can lift you up in the air. And I did it with ease. I just lifted her up with ease. She's like, okay, now carry me to the car. I was like, nah, we ain't doing all that. Like, the key was lift, not carry, all right? Because then I was like, all right. So why aren't you trying to carry me to the car? I was like, my pants is falling, and I ain't trying my pants fall, like, and then drop you at the same time. We ain't trying to do that shit. I was like, also, I ain't stretched. If I'm gonna carry you, I'm gonna stretch a little bit, all right? Like, if we're gonna turn this into like a Tough Mudder or some shit like that, where you gotta carry big hacky sack like bags on your back, I'm gonna do it. Oh, also, okay. I love, like, me and my sister always get into it, like, on little stuff. But the funny thing that we always do, or what she does, she always try to run me over, former football player, and I always tell her to stop. My mom tells her to stop too, because she grew up around boys, so she like kind of like little tomboyish at times at home, and I always tell her, stop messing with me, all right? Because sometimes she'll trigger me where like it takes me back to my football mindset, right? Like, I remember one time, this is always the funniest thing, I'm at the bottom of the steps and she's at the top of the steps, right? And she was like, ooh. It's like, oh. And she starts like, I'm going to run you over. And starts running down the steps, right? In that same moment, my brain just switched, and I instantly went football mode. And then so she's running towards me. I just like took 1, 2, pick her up, drop her, and then take 2 steps over her. And she's like, oh my God. She was like, you play too much. And I was like, what happened? Oh, shit. Well, I told you stop playing me. Like, I clicked into football mode that fast. So sometimes she'll do it. I remember one time, like, I'm like chilling and I had something in my hand, and then she just all of a sudden took off sprinting towards me. I dropped everything, braced myself, and she's like, oh no, so I gotta get. And I was like, come on. I was like, and she was like, what the hell? And I was like, my mom was like, see, I told you stop playing with him, right? He's still in football mode sometimes. Like, it's still buried in me. It was super funny because I remember. So damn funny. I was ready to drop her. So quick. It was so good. It was so funny.
I love how much you fight with your sister.
Oh yeah, all the time, dude. All the time. She's a hater, yo. My sister's the biggest hater that I know. I'm gonna clip this up too. My sister's the biggest hater that I know. All right. Yeah, no, record this. All right, we're gonna start this over. My sister is the biggest hater that I know. All right. Like, my mom always tries to tell me, she's like, she's just overprotective. She's doing a big sister role. I'm like, no, she's a hater. All right, because she won't let me date none of her friends. All right. Like, I've always thought, if you want to get closer with your friends, what better way for her to date and marry your brother? Now your sister is your sister, like, right? Like, but I'm smashing your friend's sister in this situation. But hell yeah, that is, yeah. But I can never date her friends, but she wants to date mine. Like, we are not doing this. If your friends off limits, my friends are off limits. All right. Go back to episode 4 or 5. What happens in Vegas? Great story about how I almost fucked my sister's friend. Hell yeah. But but I had a girlfriend at the time, and I didn't do it. And then later, I broke up with my girlfriend 2 weeks ago. So I should have did it, but I'm a loyal dude when I'm in a relationship. So hell yeah. All right. Super good. Yeah, I did that. I burped on the podcast. Fuck yeah. I'm sorry. And this ever happened to you? You ever be wanting to break up with a chick and like you don't really feel it's going anywhere, and then before you can, she tries to break it off with you first, and then you gotta act like that you're like upset that you're breaking up, that she's breaking up with you, and it's literally just because I wanted to end things, and then you start creating like a whole different personality of yourself. Like, no, I thought this was going good. You just need to give me another chance, stuff like that. And the chance is to really just prolong it so you can break up with them, and then you end up being in a relationship for a year. That happen to anybody?
No, that's incredible. I've gotten lucky when if I want to break up with a girl and I can't, or like if it hurts me, I'll just start being a really bad boyfriend. Yeah. So then they'll break up with me. Yeah. But I don't fight it. I go, you're right. This isn't working anymore. I've been working on this plan for the last 6 months, though.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because I remember, I don't be working on plans, stuff like that for 6 months, but it definitely has. I'm like, I feel like there's like a a distance. Like you feel the energy switching up, and I'm like, I feel like this probably ain't really working out. I feel like I probably need to break this off. And then you talk to a few different people, like, Corde, if you're feeling that way, you should just break it off, right? And then you message them like, hey, good morning. And they just say, honestly, Corde, I don't think this is working out. And I'm like, no, this is working out. What are you talking about? I thought I was going to ask you to go out later on. But I was trying to break up in person. That's why I was going to ask her out. But then she switched the game up. She switched the energy. Now I got to switch it back. No, we're doing good. We're doing amazing. And then you end up dating for a little longer. And you just like the whole time, like, I can't wait to dump this girl. Like,
well, wait, let me ask you why, if she's giving you the out, why wouldn't you just take it?
Because I wanted to do it.
Oh, I get it. You want to, okay, I got you.
No, but like that's happened I mean, this happened recently, kind of, where a chick said that, and I remember the whole time, like, I'm hanging out with this person, and I'm just like, this is a good time, but there's nothing here. Like, there's, like, time is flying by, but I just don't see it going nowhere. Like, or I'll say specifically, it was this chick who I was always dating off and on. And we would hang out, and my homie would always ask me, yo, how did it go? I was like, it was cool. We had a good time. He's okay, so what y'all about to do? And I was like, I don't think this is going nowhere. He's like, why do you think that? I was like, because it's always cool. We always have a cool time, but it's never like sparks. It's never like amazing. It's never great. It's just always like the same level of coolness. Like, and then what it really was the fact, like, we would kiss at the end of the day, we would hold hands, but there was like no like sex or anything. So it seemed like we was just stuck in neutral, where wherever happened, but it never went backwards, but it never went further, like, kind of a thing. So I was like, that was like a very stagnant relationship, because I was like, hey, like, so I just straight back to her. I was like, hey, we ever gonna fuck? Like, we ever gonna do something? She's like, oh, I don't really know. And then, like, you stay with your parents, I stay with my parents. And I was like, well, we've known each other for like several years now. We've always like gotten back together, like hung out, gotten back together, hung out. So I'm like, I feel like if we taken a step, eventually we need to do something, right? Or like sexually meet parents, is like take it to another level. And she's like, well, do you really want to take it to that level? I'm like, yeah. And then she was like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, because I got pissed at that moment, because I'm like, you've known me for years. Just tell me how you feel. She's like, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I was like, bitch, we are grown. I've known you for a while. You could just tell me straight up. But yeah, and so this became stack, and I ended it. I was like, you know what? If you can't tell me how you feel, if this never gonna move, we just gonna end it. She's like, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I was like, my feelings. It's always funny when people try to like not hurt your feelings, but at the same time they're hurting your feelings anyway. Because it's like, all right, so we gonna move forward. This like, oh, I really like you, Corde. You're a great guy, but I just don't. I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to hurt your feelings or maybe let you down. I'm like, we're not going anywhere. This is a letdown. Like you always hear this when ladies always say, oh, we have a really good friendship. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to mess this up or what you have, but not knowing at the same time when a dude says, I want to be more than your friend, the relationship won't be the same ever again, because before we was best friends or a guy and a girl being great, super close together. Now we won't have that anyway, because I took this risk on telling you I really liked you, and then you're rejecting me in this moment. It won't be the same ever again. Like, I feel like women don't know that, or I feel like that's the thing that they don't know. Like, you're like, oh, we used to be super close, and then what happened? Like, oh, he told me he really liked me, and I said I don't. And I was like, I think I'll still be like, no, or we do, but it's weird because like I might bring my new boyfriend around. And it's funny too when a chick has a female best friend who's a guy, and sometimes they really be in love with him, or he really be in love with her, and they bring a trash dude who they always complain to him about. He never likes her. I mean, he'll never like him, because you'll tell him all the nasty and messed up things he does to you, and you refuse to leave. That's why he always like, no, I'm trying to date you because we have so much in common. Like, that's why guys fall in love with women, especially like a female friend. Well, there's like a super big connection with somebody. You have the same taste. You have the same likes. You haven't had a good dating experience. He hasn't had a good dating experience. And it's like now, like, a guy usually has never felt a connection with a woman like this before. So that's why he was like, this would be the perfect woman for me to date. But a lot of times women don't see the same thing. There's like, this is a great guy for me to always have in my life. And it's just like this disconnect, like, of like things. And then like, damn, that's why guys usually fall for like they female best friend.
Yeah, but I think women too, I think there's a lot of girls out there who like the friction of dating like the bad boy.
Yeah,
like, they like the roller coaster of it. And that's the thing that I think the guy friends don't get, is that almost, if you just be like, all right, fine, I'm not going to talk to you for a month.
Yeah.
That's all right. Weirdly enough, it might actually make her more interested if you walked away.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I could lose him.
Yeah.
It's sometimes just being there too much is not.
It's not good.
Yeah.
We talked about it last time. It was like being there all the time, make yourself available all the time. It makes it seem like you aren't busy or you don't have things to do, or like you'll just always be there. So I can always neglect you because you'll always be around and stuff like that. Right. And so, yeah, like girls always love a bad boy. They always love a bad boy. I'll share a quick story. I remember the time a chick kept calling me late. Like when I say late, like 10:30, right? And the conversation will keep, like we'll have a talk for an hour and a half. And I remember one time I was super tired. She called me like at 11:30. It was like the second night in a row. And I was like, hey, what's going on? You keep calling me late. Why are you doing this? I was like, she's like, Corde, we're friends. I was like, we're not friends. Or we were trying to date and now we're friends, whatever. I was like, stop hitting me up late. She's like, why? And I was like, there's no benefit of me talking to you this late at night. Like if we're friends and then I'm gonna be sleep deprived. We won't, like, nothing's gonna come out of this. Like, I'm like, what's the benefit from you of talking to me this late? She's like, well, I like you and I think you're cool. I was like, do you like me like romantically? So I know I like you as a friend. And I was like, well, I don't see you as a friend. I see you more than that. So I don't feel the need to keep talking to you this late. I was like, talk to me before 8, like don't waste my time or have me staying up, losing sleep. I'm already tired. I could be sleeping right now. And she's like, wow, Corde, this is very like messed up of you. I was like, it's not very messed up. I was like, you're getting what you want out of this conversation. You want to talk to me. You want to spend time with me on the phone. I was like, I don't want that if nothing romantically is going to come from it. Like, and I was just being straight up honest, right? And then it's funny because later on, she invited me to her house. We hung out. I thought we was hanging out as friends. We made out and some stuff went down. Like, it was like me being honest at the moment and being true. I'm like, yo, I'm not going to keep playing this game where you reap all the benefits and I'm not. Like, because I remember I was exhausted and she was talking to me and I was like, I'm going to hang up. Go talk to some other dude or talk to another guy friend who you want to waste this time. I was like, because I'm not trying to waste my time right now. I'm not doing it. So it seemed like in that moment, like me leaving was all of a sudden now a turn on for her.
But that's how you get out of this friend zone. Shoot or shoot.
Yeah.
You got to shoot. You got to be like, hey, I want this.
Yeah, yeah.
And if she's like, oh, but because I think some guys make the mistake of not wanting to let them know they have feelings.
Yeah.
And then bitching.
Yeah.
That they're not getting anything.
Yeah.
It's like you're letting them take advantage of you.
Yeah. You got to shoot. You got to shoot, man. Guys, let them know that you like, hey, I don't see you as just a friend. I see you more than that. Or like, you're a dope ass girl and I'm tired of all these dudes playing you. Won't you take me out? But it's weird because girls put you in that weird friend zone box that you can't get out of, right? So now I was just thinking, only way to get out of friend zone is commit a crime because now you're a bad boy. Like you're too safe, you're too nice, bitch. I'm gonna go rob a bank right now to prove to you that I'm not that. It is weird, but yeah, you gotta let chicks know because sometimes dudes be doing this. There's like no, she knows that I like her because I'm always there for him, always taking care of him. Like every time I break up, I'm like right there. But like no, she sees you as the guy helping her recover. She doesn't see you as romantically. So sometimes dudes just let the chick know that you in love with or the chick you really close to that you like her. And I never understand the bad boy thing. Like I guess women love bad boys, dudes love hoes. That's what we can't. Like, right? That's where, because I don't think dudes love bad girl women. Like that's problems, well, crazy. We don't call them bad girls. We call them crazy, like, yo, she's crazy. Like, yeah, but the pussy's fire. Like, yeah, but she's like crazy as hell. She scratched the car. But yeah, but then we fucked on my car after that. Like, yeah, but then she like slashed one of your tires, but she bought new ones. Like, and then we fucked again. Like, it's like, that's the kind of like crazy level scale. Girls is just like, like last week, like, he got your car, he driving it around, and it's OE, and then he ain't got shit going for himself because he at home all day. That is, hey, I don't want to rehash that, but we know what we're talking about. It is super funny to me. Women love bad boys and dudes love hoes. That's,
yeah, we both. Everyone wants excitement, but I think men think excitement, like you said. Given what you just described there, she's going to do crazy stuff, but then we're going to have really fun sex after. Yeah. That's kind of the trade-off.
Yeah.
The opposite, I feel like when you're talking about girls like bad boys, it's like, I want a guy who's really dangerous, but not dangerous to me.
Exactly. Oh, great point. Because it's always, he's dangerous, he's doing this crazy stuff, but to me, he treats me well.
Exactly.
And he treats everybody else like, chicks, chicks get turned on when you do crazy shit. Who the fuck is you? Don't be doing this to my. Like I always feel like sometimes that's why some women start problems. Like start an argument because they like to see their dude like kind of mad in the situation, or like I remember I was watching the movie Baby Driver, where she was making out. It was a cute chick making out with her dude, and she's like, such and such just stared at me. And remember you said you always got jealous and no other dude would ever look at me and stuff like that. Remember the last dude who looked at me funny, you stabbed him. Such and such just looked at me. What are you gonna do? I'm like, this weird reaction. Like, it's kind of that is just being overprotective, overbearing of her. And then, like, girls, like, want their guy to do it. Like, I remember one time I cussed a chick out one time. And it was because her getting mad. And I was like, first off, don't you ever fucking talk to me like that, all right? Don't you ever say that to me, all right? I treat you with respect. Don't you ever talk down to me, okay, and stuff like that. I'm a nice guy, but you pushing me. I'm super mad right now. I don't usually like to talk this, like, because I'm not big on talking down to women, all right? Don't you ever talk down to me, because I treat you with respect. So you treat me with respect, all right? Don't talk down to men, and I won't talk down to you, all right? So don't you ever do that again, because you ever do this again, I'm gonna fucking leave. No, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna pack my bag. I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna leave, and this relationship will be over, right? You know what her reaction was?
I'm what?
Yeah. I was like, what? And I was like, in the moment, it was cute. It was cool. And then I was like, slowly after this, I was like, I think we like made out of this some stuff, right? And then I was like, this shit is ending soon. Because if you want that kind of reaction out of me, no, this is not me. Making me mad to turn you on, it's not something I want. That will not. I was like, we got to I said, this shit gonna end soon. I said, I can't just be mad to turn you on all the time. I said, I can't turn you on romantically. I got to be mad. Oh, big, but I don't know, some type of shit. Hell yeah.
And that's what's crazy is because maybe her dad was a really angry dude all the time. So she just equates, like any type of big emotion is love.
Yeah.
If you're really angry, you can't control yourself. Now you love me.
Yeah.
Oh, Corde, you're always calm. He's just a teddy bear. Pff, he doesn't give a shit about it.
He doesn't give a shit at all. You Winnie the Pooh out here. I don't want Winnie the Pooh. I want some big fucking I want the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, which is still crazy and weird at the same time. But I don't want Winnie the Pooh. I want rage. I want anger. Yeah. I want also Belle was in love with a fucking women love anything, don't they? All right. How you fall in love with a damn beast? All right. Gaston was an asshole since she went away from him, but she still fell in love with an asshole who was a beast. But she was like, and it's like, look, I still remember she's all looking into the mirror. No, but look at him. He's so kind. The motherfucker was roaring in the mirror as she saw him. He was like, she's like, no, he's kind and sweet. And then Gaston, he was like, this is sweet. This is sweet. And he's like roaring, destroying shit, like breaking stuff down and stuff like that. And that's when it came with the song, Kill the Beast. I'm going to kill the beast and stuff like that.
Yeah, from Gaston's point of view, she looks nuts.
Absolutely.
And he's like, we got to go kill this thing.
And he's like a rapist too. Like
he is. He's not a good dude, but in that part of the movie, I'm like, from where he's sitting, he's keeping her hostage. The beast is keeping her hostage. Say what you want about the guy. He's actually doing a cool thing from his perspective.
Yeah. He's like, because Gaston's like, stop going up there to that damn castle. It's haunted, all right? And there's a beast up there who can fucking kill you, right? And then the beast, and then it's funny how she got tired of Gaston trying to keep her hostage, and then the fucking beast becomes a hostage. It's like, no, and then all his friends are saying, no, you have to stay here. You have to make him better and stuff like that. All these people perpetrating being hostage. Hey man, Beauty and the Beast got a deeper ass meaning than we thought. It's about hostage and bondage. That's what it's about. All right.
You can't outwardly be a controlling asshole. You have to secretly be a controlling asshole in your house.
Yeah, being in your house.
That's what she's in
your house. Like, why is R. Kelly in trouble? No, I'm playing. No, that's not. That's
Oh my god.
Allegedly. All right. I don't know. You like I made that connection? Hell yeah, that's crazy. Hell yeah.
But so is Beauty and the Beast just a big case of Stockholm syndrome?
Maybe. Stockholm syndrome is when somebody is captured and they end up falling in love with their captor.
Oh, very much so. Yeah. Hell, goddamn. No, you hit it on the head. It's Stockholm, Beauty and the Beast. All right. Then they made other different shit, stuff like that. You know, the worst part I got mad about it was at the end of Beauty and the Beast, after he fought Gaston and shit like that, all of a sudden now he becomes this gorgeous human being and shit like that. And I was just like, really? He couldn't be average. Like he couldn't be an average dude. Like he has to be gorgeous. And it puts all this like, it's all that Princess and the Frog. If you kiss enough frogs, you run into like a prince. Well, if you be nice to a beast, he'll become super handsome. Like what the fuck? What are we doing?
Which is so not true in real life. Not true.
Yeah.
That set up a lot of girls to just hang out with these bad boys.
Bad boys who are ugly as shit. All right.
They're like, oh, it's just my beast. He'll change.
He'll change.
Like,
He'll change.
He's just a criminal.
He's just a criminal. You know, he's trying to work on himself. Like he got wrongfully convicted. All right. He only robbed because he needed the money and stuff like that. He didn't mean to shoot those people. No, that was accident. The gun went off. And it's crazy how women will fall in love with these bad boys who are fucking in jail, right? Like I think somebody said it's all these women at men's prisons who meet them and like fall in love and will marry a dude who's a convict, who's an inmate. And there's nobody at a fucking women's jail at all because dudes ain't stupid like that, all right? Like we ain't holding on thinking you gonna get better. No, cause there's pussy outside, all right? We ain't coming to no damn prison to be there around and think this woman who just killed her husband beforehand. No, that was a one-time thing. She won't kill me. Yes, she will. All right. Yes, she will. It is crazy. You know, it's another crazy thing that I don't understand. Women are always in fear that something crazy that they'll be like raped, murdered, or killed or something like that, which is a terrible thing. I'm not trying to make a joke out of it, but then watch murder mysteries about this shit that happened, like possession. Like my auntie used to watch Unsolved Mysteries and America's Most Wanted every single damn night, all right? Scared the shit out of herself for years, all right? Would always do it. So much so that she made her kids watch it and me watch it with it, right? And we was always scared. And my auntie watched it so much, she thought every single person walking down the street was from America's Most Wanted, all right? She said, I saw this dude. He was on America's Most Wanted last night. Swear to God, they couldn't find him. He was from Missouri. She was right one time. She's like, that dude looks super familiar. And he was on America's Most Wanted. He was like from Missouri. I think he had killed like 12 people or some shit like that, right? And he was just walking down the streets of Richmond in broad daylight, right? And I think somebody had said something to him, and I think he punched somebody, and then, it was some weird, like some kind of weird, quick little altercation that happened, and then he got caught. And it was like, we've been looking for this man for the last 16 to 20 years. And it was like literally she had finally like said, and it was a crazy moment. She's like, yeah, I saw him earlier today. He was walking down the street. She's like, something was a little off. I was like, define off. She's like, he was walking weird. And I was like, there's homeless people and crackheads walking. She's like, yeah, we see those every day. But she's like, that's how weird he was walking. he kept looking over his shoulder every other second. I'm like, oh, okay, that is kind of weird. But yeah, just crazy stuff like that. Women love bad boys, love murder mysteries, but then always scared to go on dates. Like it's so crazy. Like
they like hearing about danger from the comfort of their, Tempur-Pedic mattress.
There we go. Or from their car in traffic, kind of weird thing. Like, cause dudes will never hear a podcast on crazy women's stories that they almost got killed. That's something like, oh no, like, that's damn, for real? Like, damn, dude, that's, like, I don't think a podcast like that would last from, like, a men's perspective. Like, yeah, man, I was with this crazy-ass chick, and then she fucking stabbed me. Like, what? Like, what? Turn this shit off, because it's just so much PTSD, because you always remember the one crazy chick that you might have dated. Okay, real quick, did you guys ever date a crazy chick before? Noah, Jared, you ever dated a crazy chick before?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. My first girlfriend was pretty crazy.
Okay. Was that the one you lost to Virginia to? Or
yeah.
Okay. How was she crazy? Because always women be like,
I got lucky that she wasn't really crazy with me. Okay. But like I knew she was crazy when I first got with her. Oh. And I think the thing is like when she told me that she had cheated on me like on my birthday with her ex, I think it was one of those things. She wanted to see me get mad and thought it was gonna like spark something. And I'm like, no, I'm just really hurt and I don't want to see you anymore. And she was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Now, I was 17. I was pretty like, well, it was on my 18th birthday. So I was freshly 18. Yeah. I mean, I was not emotionally ready to handle something like that. Yeah. And she was 22 at the time. And I was just like, ow. Yeah. Like that really hurts. Yeah. That doesn't feel good.
That fucking hurts.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I don't want to be with you anymore. And she's like, oh, all right. Well, it happened and it's done. Yeah. That was her thing. It happened and it's done. Like, I'm not going to do it again. And I was like, what? And then just to hear what she was up to after that. Yeah, I think if I'd have stayed, it was like that pivotal moment. If I had stayed, it would have gotten worse. Yeah. I would have constantly been like tested.
Yeah.
But I was just, I was like, no, that hurt my feelings. I'm good. Goodbye. And but yeah, that's the closest I ever got to a crazy girl. And ever since then, I've always dated girls that are crazy, not in the dangerous sense, but you're just like, sometimes you look at them when they like do stuff and you're like, what? Really? You're worried about that? Like, I had to convince a girl that she wasn't going to get pregnant after she swallowed my semen.
Jared, that girl's not crazy. She's just stupid as hell. I thought you was gonna say like something like you can't get pregnant if you stand up right after sex. So that was like an urban myth, or it's like dumb shit. Like
gravity protects you.
You know, that reminds me of that quick look, like she wouldn't get pregnant if she swallowed her cum. That reminds me like the show Glee, when they was trying to convince, they said they was doing it they weren't doing it, but they were like they was like kind of like messing around, and she made him come in the hot tub, and his cum went into her vagina, and that's how she was pregnant. And they was like, oh damn, that can happen. It was like, yeah, that's what happened. It went from dude when actually she was just fucking another dude in the Glee club, and that's how she got pregnant. That's literally what happened. And I was just like, you gonna make this dude think you cheated on your boyfriend, you gonna make him think that's what it is, because they're supposed to be super religious, and it was waiting until marriage and stuff. And so you got pregnant, but because you don't like the main dude who you got pregnant by, I think his name was Spice or some shit like that, and he had a girl too, and it was crazy. And it's just crazy dumb shit. What about you? You ever dated a crazy chick before?
Yes, he has.
Oh, yes, you have.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, that bitch DM me. Sorry.
I'm scared.
Well, first off, she pivot. Hold on. Okay.
No names, guys.
I mean, I don't know her name. I blocked her.
I never dated.
Okay.
A crazy.
Okay,
chick.
there we go.
Okay.
That's the caveat. Hell yeah.
I have definitely been associated.
That means sex. He definitely had sex.
No.
Okay,
doesn't mean sex.
Doesn't mean sex? Okay.
Yeah, no,
was just talking or something?
No, I've just had crazy friends. You know what I mean? I've just had crazy
Okay, because it was one chick who was on, because I keep posting about, because women keep getting triggered whenever I talk about white women saying that I can't date you because my mom won't accept you. And then I had to say last week that, nah, baby, I will date you. I don't care about what my mama said. Like, if you can't come to her house, you can come to my grandma's house. A lot of women didn't get, this is a joke. This is a joke. Well, no, actually, it's kind of not a joke. My mom did tell me that I can't bring you to the house. But, I mean, I'll bring you to my grandma's house because my grandma does love me more than my mom. So, yeah, if you want to put up with ridicule from my mom, but a loving, caring relationship from my grandma, date Corde. Hell yeah. Also, most women didn't know. My mom told me this growing up, and she stopped acting like this in like 2009, 2010. So like some chick was getting triggered about this. So then I posted that clip, and then a chick was saying, like, some chick started like commenting in the comments and stuff like that. They was like, see, this is what we're talking about. Corde is like damaging, like, and then she started commenting on other people's comments, and then like instead of just comment on one and just keep like expanding, just like I was like, what is this chick doing and stuff like that. Then it was funny too, because I remember a chick who I went to Vegas, and I met her in Vegas a long time ago, commented on the same post. She's like, really, your mom doesn't like that? She's like, because you kissed me on the floor in Vegas at Trisk. I remember, I was like, Trisk, what the fuck? She's like, you kissed me at Trisk in Vegas, and you never took me on a date after that, right? And then another chick commented, she was like, damn girl, he kissed me, and he didn't take me on a date either. And I was just like, both y'all is trash for this.
That's wild.
Yeah, right? And it was funny because the chick who said I kissed her on the dance floor at Trisk in Vegas, right? She lived in Vancouver, all right? She lived in Vancouver, so I couldn't take her on a date because she lived in Vancouver. We met in Vegas. I lived in Cali. So I was like, what are you even talking about? Also, because this chick stays popping up too. Now, she'll just pop up and then like get mad at me for no reason because like she says I'm not being nice to her. I'm like, girl, there's no reason for me to be nice because every time I try to talk to you obviously she's white. She makes it about herself and try to make herself seem like I'm doing something wrong. I'm like, girl, I didn't even do nothing. And she's like, Corde, this is why we never worked out, because you're always so mean. I'm like, you live in Vancouver, all right? At the time, I didn't even have a passport. So that's the main reason why I didn't work out. I had no plans of moving to Washington, Seattle, borderline or something. No, like that's why we don't work out. Like, what do you... even talk about. Also, she was older, so it was super weird that she's being super immature. I was like, girl, I am 23. You are 35. Like, why are you acting like this? But
Corde, if you wanted to, you would.
Exactly. If I wanted to, I would. Jared, you got me in trouble, dude. You got me in trouble. A chick commented, she's like, oh, I see why we not hanging out, because if you really wanted to, you would. And I was like, girl, what the hell are you talking about? And she's like, your podcast. I was just like, huh? And it's always funny because some female friends, or like we've dated like back in the day, they'll always listen to my podcast like, oh, this is why we didn't work out, because like I find out so much more about you on your podcast than talking to you. And I'm like, you just never asked me the right questions. We never talked long enough for us to happen. So like, I feel like they're doing research on me as to why things didn't work out with us. And I'm just like, if you just talk to me more, or we talked about stuff instead of you bringing up the past from your past relationships, it would have helped our relationship flourish. But yeah, she hit me with the, if you wanted to, you would. It triggered me so much. I was just like, what are you talking about right now? Like, I have no idea. She's like, your podcast. I was like, oh, okay, because she would do that. She would just bring up random stuff from a podcast she heard from, because I had another one called the Lit Podcast. She would listen to that and then just bring it to the conversation randomly. And I was like, what are you even, like, imagine somebody, you said something 3 weeks ago and then she just like brings it up in the moment. Like, what? Like, we was talking about McDonald's. What are you talking about right now? So it's from your podcast. I'm like, oh, that's what that was from? You create like a whole different conversation because you heard something on the podcast? Like, I can't keep up with everything I said. Like, it's weird. Super weird. Yeah.
Also, shout out to PX.
Shout out to PX. Hell yeah. PX Floro. Shout out. Happy birthday, PX. You just made 41 this year. Dope ass female comic and mom in the South Bay. So hell yeah. Shout outs to her.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Hell yeah. When are you guys' birthdays? When are you guys' birthdays, by the way?
Mine's September 4th.
September 4th? Okay.
August 2nd.
August 2nd. Okay, cool. So you are...
I'm a Virgo.
Okay. You are a...
Leo.
Hell yeah.
Lion, roar, bitch.
There we go. Hell yeah. I always ask dudes this, and I have no fucking idea what the fuck zodiac signs mean at all. Like, I don't know why I do that.
Mine's unequivocally the worst if you ask women. A Virgo male is like the worst kind of male.
More than a Gemini?
They're pretty bad, but like the criticism I get a lot is I'm very perfectionist. I like things a very specific way.
Yeah.
And it's true. Yeah. Like, naturally, I had to grow out of that and be like, not everyone's going to see things my way or want to do it my way.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I used to get really mad if you didn't like show up on time or I used to get really angry. So I get it.
And I'd be late all the time.
Usually women are like, it's sure they find I'm a Virgo. It's always, oh, I could never.
Yeah.
Oh, I could never.
Well, shit, same thing for me. Like, you get, oh, I could never. I get, damn, y'all crazy. Like,
are you a Gemini?
I'm a Gemini. Yeah, okay, I'm a Gemini. So it's like y'all, it's like, oh, y'all crazy. Oh, y'all two-faced. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because it's always funny too when women find out that we're having a good conversation and they find out I'm a Gemini. It's always immediately like, oh, well, this is a good conversation, but this ain't gonna go nowhere further. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm good. It's like, yeah, but how I know which side this is? This could be your good side, but it could be, but I don't want to see what your bad side look like. And I'm just like, girl, I've been perfectly fine this entire time until you find my zodiac sign. So yeah. Also, I feel like I'm a Virgo. I'm a very perfectionist. Like I'm late now, but it was because I used to be so on time and everything. I used to, like, for my family, my siblings, I used to never understand why they can't be on time, why they can't clean up after themselves, why they can't just do all these different things that I did. My mom was like, you got to stop stressing out stuff you can't handle. I mean, can't control. And I was just like, but if we all just did this, it would be just like a thing that we all could just get on, right? And then, I've been in therapy. They was like, you have to let that go and let people do them. You can't hold everybody to the same standard you hold your standards, same self too. Like, I'm a perfectionist as well. I got it from my dad. Like, my dad is always wanted to be a perfectionist, everything like super perfect. Because if you try to be a perfectionist, right, if you fail at that, which is kind of like PTSD, kind of trauma, right? But because you try to be so damn perfect, whatever you did, if it wasn't perfect, it was still super, super good. It was damn near close to being perfect. But I feel like sometimes with chasing perfection, you stress yourself the fuck out because it's not perfect. Instead of aiming for perfection and falling short is something you still get a great ass product. But then I think we internalize a different thinking, because we're not perfect, I fucked up. Mm-hmm. I think that's like the difference of it. And then that took me like a while to understand, like, no, you got to be perfect, but it's aiming for perfection. And because, it's like shooting for the stars, like if you only aim so high, you only go so high and stuff like that. Like, I know for me, it's weird, like tying into the colleges. I remember one time a counselor told me I had grades to get into UC Berkeley. She told me that, and I was like, well, I'm not applying to any state schools because I thought my GPA wasn't good enough to go into any UC. She's like, you have grades good enough to go to UC Berkeley. I was like, okay, well, shit. If that's the case, I'm applying to all the UCs. I'm applying to every single last one because if I go to Cal, which is a hella hard to get into, I can get in any fucking where. All right. I think I applied to one state school just to try, and it was like a way different process. But I got into 3 of the 5 UCs I applied to. I got into UC Santa Barbara, UC Davis, and UC San Diego. And I got rejected by Cal and UCLA, but I chose the wrong major. I chose the highly impacted major, sociology. And they said if I would have chose Black Studies, I would have got into all 5. And I was like, fuck. And I was like, well, I don't want to take Black Studies, not because I wasn't for it, but because, okay, there was a recruit one time from UCLA trying to tell me to take Black Studies classes, but I felt she was only saying that because I was Black. And she was saying, like, choose a lesser major. She called it a lesser major. She's like, this one was toxic as hell. She was like, what's your GPA? I was like, I have a 3.4. And she's like, oh, it's not high enough to get into UCLA, right? And so she was like, UCLA isn't for everybody. You can go to a lesser school. She said lesser school. She's like, I was like, man, what the fuck this woman talking about, right? So, well, maybe choose a major that's a lesser major. And she's like, choose a different one that's like less hard or something like that and less impact. She was like, and I was like, if she say Black Studies, I'm gonna fucking walk out of here. She's like, something like, I don't know, like Black Studies. And I was just like, oh my fucking God. So you couldn't choose Asian American studies. I couldn't be interested in something else. Or like Latinos, like Chicano studies. I'm like, why you have to go to the Black thing? I know I'm Black, but you didn't have to go to that. Like, it showed me like how it's very centered in where your mind works. And I was like pissed about that. And then, so I didn't get into Berkeley or UCLA. I got rejected by both. But then a quarter into being at UC Santa Barbara, which I went to, we had the #1 sociology department in the country. So even though I didn't get into the dream schools I might have wanted to, I still ended up in the right place. And I'm like, hey, it's fine with me. So yeah, it was dope as hell. How much more time we got?
We're at 45.
Okay, I know I was cooking. Hell yeah. Shout out to I did a show on Meal Peters last night, or which Friday night when this drops on Monday. It was dope as hell. It was like this dope ass wine vineyard. Shout out to Stephanie Clark. I was trying to remember her name. She's dope as hell. She books me on a bunch of, I think it's Funny Girl events. I think that's what she calls it. Dope as hell, cool spot. And I remember it was this vineyard. I'll tell you about it so you can take your girl to. It's this one because it has this gorgeous ass view where it's like.
Oh, it's what you put on Snapchat.
Yeah, I put on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, and also Snapchat didn't do it justice. I remember I'm sitting there, I'm just like, because I was commenting, I was like, this is the type of view or place you take your main girl to. You don't bring side chicks here because then they get confused. It was like such an elegant, beautiful spot. Because what it is just, it's so beautiful, it's so gorgeous, it's so breathtaking. You want to be there with somebody who you really care about. Like I remember I was with a homegirl of mine who I liked. And then I remember like I was trying to see if we could date. And then I was there with her in the moment and she was telling me about some ex or telling me about some other stuff. And I was just like, I was kind of in the friend zone thing and I was trying to get out of it or just trying to figure out like if she would ever date me, right? And then I'm there at like this nice ass spot in Santa Barbara and she just kept talking about this other thing. And I'm just sitting there enjoying the dope ass view. And I was like, I don't like this chick. Because it helped me realize it because like as I'm trying to get peace and trying to enjoy like the sun hitting like the water, like the glistening of that and the beautiful. And I've seen like the mountains or like the coast off of the thing. I'm just hearing her complain over and over and over again about the dudes who done her wrong. So I'm just like hearing the wind going. It's like, oh, this peace. And I just see like couples walking, holding hands, somebody they're playing with their dog. And I just hear her like chime in. And I was like, oh, this is a sign that we are not meant to be together. All right. And we are still dope friends to this day. But I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to be with this girl at all. So yeah. And then after that, we had a conversation. She was like, Corde, do you still like me? I was like, yeah, I like you. She's like, but like romantically, I was like, not anymore. She's like, what changed? So I was like, I don't know. Something recently just popped in my head. And it was that experience. And I was like, okay, well, we're not meant to be together. Okay.
I think it's a red flag when a woman is constantly talking about her exes.
Yeah.
Like that's number one. I've never experienced that personally. Like I've never been with her, but like as soon as a friend's like, oh yeah, first thing she does is talk about how bad her exes are. It's like it's one of those things like if you always run into problems, maybe you're the problem.
Exactly. If it's that's prime example too. Like it was funny. I was talking to like another homegirl of mine, and this dude who she was at, who was super toxic, who was like, she sent me like a few different messages that he had sent to her. He had one great bar, and like the thing about them like not talking, right? He said, I'm not going to try to fix shit that I didn't break. And I was like, oh. I was like, that's a bar. Like, it was deep on so many levels. Because I was talking to her, I was like, hey, I'm not on this dude's side, but that's a great fucking bar right there. Like, I'm not going to try to fix shit I didn't break. Basically, just going back to all the chicks, like going back to her exes or anything. She's like, she's traumatized by anything. She gets PTSD. He's like, hey, I didn't do this, so I'm not going to try to fix it, all right? Because I'm not responsible for you feeling like this. I didn't do that. And sometimes that happens. Like, a lot of times, women and men don't hold on to stuff from their past and bring it up in their current relationship, and that's why they usually don't work out, because they're not over it. Like, I remember, I never understood like why women always say, I'm taking some time for myself. And that's like, sometimes it'd be like a multitude of things. Sometimes it'd be for work. Sometimes it's they're really just trying to get over their past relationship. And I never understood that. And it's kind of, or it's I'm trying to heal some of the stuff that's failed in these last few relationships that I had because of one bad relationship like a while ago. So I'm trying to work that out before bringing that on to like another relationship. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Otherwise, I just feel like sometimes chicks be saying that and never work on stuff, or just like don't, like, you need to make this a moving thing, like move forward, like, or like, oh, I'm just working on myself. And then sometimes they be like working on themselves for like 3-4 years. I'm like, girl, get out there. Like, you know, that you can't just keep saying I'm working on myself without doing the work. Like, working on myself, just say you're taking a break from dating. All right. Figure some stuff out, read a few self-help books, and then try to get back out there. All right. Because sometimes I feel like I wouldn't be passing up on good dudes because they take a break at the wrong time. Like, they should take a break like right after that first bad relationship, and then they might get another bad relationship and another bad relationship. Now they like have PTSD from all these bad relationships. And then like now it's like you meet a good dude and it's like, oh, I can't really date right now because I'm still traumatized. I'm like, well, you should take a break then. Like, you met me, and now it's like, so yeah.
Moral of the story is you always got to be working on yourself.
Exactly. Always got to be working on yourself, man. You always got to get better. You always have to realize what, like, I'm not going to deal with that again from my past relationship. Like, that shit was trash. That shit was whack. I realized that I was accommodating to bad boys I love when the dude got pissed off because that showed me love. That's not love. That's some trauma from your childhood that you thought was love, right? That's not a good thing. That's not funny. That's funny. But I was like, that's not a good thing. That's not a way to look for love. All right. Like, being constantly yelled at is not a sign of love. That's a sign of verbal abuse. All right. That's not a positive thing.
Well, think about that too. I mean, that's what's hard about it is you realize that the dating problems you have, one, some of them are your fault, right? So you have to go, okay, what did I do wrong in that relationship?
Yep.
And then you realize, why did I do those things wrong? Yeah. Oh, because my family relationships weren't good.
Yep.
That can be devastating for people if they think, oh, I know how to love people. And it's like, no, I actually grew up in a really toxic environment. I'm a shitty partner. Yeah. And if I want the things I want, I have to completely change who I am.
Yeah.
I get why some people don't want to fucking do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just shatter their whole world.
And it's like shattering your world is like a whole deeper thing that they probably don't want to deal with in the moment. It's like, fuck, in order for me to get through this, I might need to go to therapy. And people have like a negative stigma towards therapy. I always say go to therapy because, you know, sometimes you look for advice from like your friends, your homies, or sometimes a bartender. I'm like, therapy is a trained eventual friend who's going to give you the best advice to kind of gear and like switch up and do some kind of stuff. Like, I give great advice. I've been single for like a long period of time. I've dated women that had girlfriends here and there, but my homies always come to me because I usually give sound advice. I can step back, I can hear things. I'm just like, well, why is this doing like this? Or why does she do it like this? Like, what are you trying to get out of the situation? Or why is it always like a thing? And then like, even sometimes I've kind of helped people in relationships. I'm like, I remember, like, I think my homie's girl said something. His girl at the time said something to him in the moment. It was like, "Oh, you came hella fast." He was like, "Bitch." He's like, I was like, "Ain't no one call her bitch." He was like, "Man, I'm just." He's like, "Nah, it's cool." I was like, "Yeah," but he was like, "I only came hella fast because you jerked me off for like 45 minutes and didn't have sex." He was like, "I can't last that long. Like, I was already top peaking and shit." And then later found out that he was insecure about that happening. So, yeah. But then other stuff too. It's like I can't think of it in the moment, but darker stuff. I had a thought that you had said, Jared, that I'm kind of blanking on right now, but yeah, it's
recently I said realizing the reason why you're a bad partner might make you realize you grew up in a really toxic family, which can be hard.
Okay, so not toxic family, but so I'm a hopeless romantic, which I realized. And a lot of times it's funny because so I grew up in a household that was always showing love. My parents are very affectionate even to this day, and it's always like the same thing I want. Like, so think about me. I always try to like love affirmation stuff like that. Or like, what's your love language? Like, physical touch for me is a big one because if I always think of it, if I'm not physically touching you, that means I'm not interested. Because usually the type of chicks who I'm like not attracted to, like I don't touch, and it's always weird to me. Like if a chick who doesn't like physical touch, I'm like, this won't work out, because I feel like if you're not touching me, then you don't like me. Because if I don't like you, I'm not gonna touch you. It's one of those things where you walk with a chick, you holding their hand, and you see your homies, and you might be with like a 3 or a chick who like you just like, not the chick, it's like the chick who you just hook up with, right? And you got her out, and then like, oh, bro, is that your girl? And sometimes your homies make it worse. You're like, oh, bro, is this your girl? And I'm like, nah, what you doing, man? Like, nah, no, we cool. Like, hey, are we cool, friend? Are we cool? And she like, friend? Like, I just suck your dick. I'm like, hey, girl, like, we cool, right? We just, and then it's like that kind of thing. It's
the comments are gonna destroy you for this.
Oh, always. Always.
All these girls are gonna be like, Corde, we hung out and you didn't touch me. Does that mean you don't like me?
Yes. Well, the catfish story I told a while ago where the chick set me up, I didn't touch her at all. Like, because I'm just like, because it was crazy. Like, because it's all, or being catfished, or like you don't look exactly like how you look, or chicks trying to like filters is trash, perfect angles is trash. Like I've been told I look better in person than in pictures, because I'm a guy. I don't know how to take great pictures sometimes. Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I'm always like, they was like, oh, you look much better in person. I was like, he was like, I was kind of like, and then I see a person, I'm like, oh, you're like an 8. I'm like, I need to take some better fucking pictures, you know? Like maybe my dating life will go up. So yeah, like I said, like hopeless romantic, because my family was always like, my mom and dad was always very affectionate. So I'm like a very affectionate person. Like that's what I like. I like to be affectionate with my partner. I like to hold hands. I like to touch them. I like to like slap on my ass, stuff like that. And it's always weird when like girls like, oh, I don't. I'm like, okay, if you don't like that, well, this ain't gonna work. Like I can't. Or like, I remember I went on a date with one time. It was like me and her was like talking for like long periods of time, but I was like, just try to like love, like rubbing her thighs or like just like kissing her, like smacking her on the ass. She's like, oh, I don't like being touched. I remember she had a huge ass, and I was just like, you don't like being touched? She's like, no. I was like, I can't grab your ass. She's like, I don't really eat. I was like, but it's huge. I was like, I'm gonna let you know. I was like, it's gonna be hard for me not to do that. Like if you walk by me, I'm gonna just like, cause we was talking, like they was like talking for like, I think like a month and a half or something like that. Like I remember one time, I think the reason how we gotta start getting close, because she was on her way to Oregon, and I remember we talked the whole time. Like, cause I remember I was driving to SAC, and I think my show was like an hour and a half, right? And her trip was like 6.5. So driving to SAC, and then got off the phone, did my show, and then hung out afterwards, and then show was over, and then called her back, and she was still like an hour and a half away, and so we ended up talking like the whole time, me going back, and she had got to her friend's house, but I was like, I'm at your friend's place? Like, yeah, I've been sitting in the car, but I've been enjoying this whole conversation we had, right? And so then later on found out like, oh, I don't like to be touched. And I was like, this is so hard. I don't know. Like, you so cute. And then like, you like thick as hell. I was like, what? Like, what? I can't touch you? I was like, do you not like me? She's like, no, I do like you. I just don't like being touched. I remember like she was like, I don't like hugging either. I was like, I can't hug you. I can't. She's like, I know you probably want to hug me, so you can get like 2 quick hugs in. I was like, quick? I was like, give me like 5 seconds. Like, right? Jared's face is like, all right. So it was so weird. Like, I'm just like, I was like, I kept asking her, do you like me? She's like, are you insecure? I was like, I'm not insecure, but if I don't like the chick, I won't touch her. She said, oh, we got different. And I think that's when I found out about love language. Oh, we got different love languages. Like, what's that? And she's told me, she was like, hers is quality time, but not physical touch. And I was like, how do you do that? She's like, I like you to be there, but I don't always want to be touched. Or let me initiate it. I was like, how often do you initiate it? She's like, not often. And I was like, well, girl, we're going to have to work on some stuff, all right? Because I'm not gonna be sitting there with you and I'm just gonna be like this away from you, my arms folded. I was like, I'm gonna have my hand on your lap. I'm gonna ask to kiss you, like other stuff, because that's how I show affection. But yeah, we like, okay. Hell yeah. So, yeah, love and affection. White women, I do love you. Okay, all right. I just gotta say that I do love you. All right, but I've been neglecting Latinas the whole time I've been doing this podcast. Cause Latinas, I love you even more. All right, like the first time I've ever fell in love, it was with a Latina. I'll share that story at another date, but because we gotta wrap up. But white girls, Latinas, I just love who love me, all right? If you love Corde, if you love the podcast, please come on, please keep listening. Email us at thecordesnellshow@gmail.com. If you have any comments, any questions, if I really love white women, if I love Latinas, why I ain't said it before, if I'm a hopeless romantic, or who are all these women that I'm talking about? Are you a man whore? Maybe, you never know. But did you get your hour of Corde this week? Or hopefully you did. And this has been the Corde Snell Show. Thank you for listening.